been travelling down the coast of Western Australia, visiting all the best wineries, breweries and distilleries. On this episode of Last Drinks, I'm heading to Bunbury, just north of Busselton, and today it's time for some hard liquor. Join me, Madeleine Culp, as we explore Cuprum Distillery. Brewed in Bunbury and now enjoyed on a global scale, Cuprum Distillery takes no shortcuts in their pursuit of delicious spirits. Owners Mike and Stuart renovated the building and designed the distillery themselves, using natural materials along with recycled steel and copper. They've definitely nailed the old school whiskey bar vibe. I'm here to meet Rory, head distiller, and learn more about their process and, of course, their spirits. Rory, thank you for having me here at Cuprum Distillery. You are the head distiller here and manager.
Yeah.
How did this all come about?
Geez, we started about 2.5 years ago, I'd say now, when we launched our bottle sales, and it's just an idea at the pub. The owner's Mike Honeybell. He had this sort of set idea that he was really keen on opening up a distillery that does gins, vodkas and rums and whiskies. We slowly but surely, it's just an idea that we kept coming back to, and eventually we said, no, let's do it.
For those playing at home, Cuprum is the Latin word for copper. It's an apt name for a distillery focused on copper stills.
When we first got our liquor licence, it was the peak of the coronavirus. Someone from the Bunbury port knocked on the door and asked if we could make hand sanitizer, and I didn't think much of it. Pretty naive about the whole COVID thing, and essentially I said, yeah, we'll have a crack. I sort of looked up the World Health Organisation's method for sanitizer and made some, and then we made the news, and we just had our heads blown off because no one could get it. So really strange start to the business, I guess.
Yeah. And obviously you've got tastings available here, and you've even got an amazing create your own gin. But what else do you do in the
so we do a lot of events here where, you know, we do like a paint and sip classes. So we have a local artist. We had yoga classes here, believe it or not. I know it's probably think distillery yoga. We called it gin and yin, with that caught on pretty good. We're always open to different ideas, just little sort of funky events we can do on a Friday afternoon.
So what are you most looking forward to?
Definitely the rum. Yeah, no-brainer, the rum. Because it's been the 2-year wait, we've been slowly doing a lot of rums, and I guess you can make shortcuts with the rums, and we're all the small intricacies and stuff like that we're putting a lot of time into. So I think that's what's going to probably take us to the next step. The way we're doing our rums is really special.
Before we get to tasting, Rory's going to show me around the stills. So should we go and have a little
Absolutely,
explore?
yeah, I'll show you that sort of that's.
Amazing setup. It's obviously functional, but it's also aesthetically really pleasing in here.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what's going on in this
So
section?
these are our vats. So these are the start of the rum. Basically what we'll have is sugar, molasses, and we'll pitch the yeast, and your yeast is basically eats sugar and poos out alcohol. And we want to keep that alcohol. So what we do is what's called a stripping run. So we'll basically pump these vats into our big still. Mm-hmm. You're turning that on, and then that's the sort of first part of it.
What are the sort of ingredients that you're using here?
This is the molasses. This is probably what you're smelling. I know the viewers at home probably can't smell a lot of that stuff.
It smells amazing.
Yeah, have a little smell of that. Yeah, it's just, I think it's a really important ingredient in the process, and we're sort of using a heavy molasses. It's a premium molasses, so we get it to the highest possible grade you can, and I think, we're really excited for when it falls due.
Over other options you could have used instead. Why molasses?
Purely taste, I think. That's one of the main reasons, having that sort of thickness throughout the spirit it does make a world of difference. And that's when they first started back in the Caribbean a long time ago. That molasses was sort of a byproduct that was pretty important. And
bit of a nod to the heritage as well.
A little bit, yeah, absolutely. So what we talked about before, we'll do a distillate, and then you'll sort of end up with that. Mm-hmm. So that comes completely clear, and you'll have about 29%, and then you'll do what's called a spirit run, where you make your cuts. That's quite the more important sort of side of it. The middle bit, you want to keep water down and put in the barrel, and Unfortunately, you've got to wait the 2 years for the rum, which is fine. But this has been in the barrel for about 4 or 5 months, and so you kind of get to tell that colour's sort of coming along. And if you're really keen, you can have a bit of a smell. But that's
pretty keen for this.
Yeah.
Oh, that smells delicious.
Yeah. So it is at 65%. It's a little bit on the high end. I won't give you a taste of that just yet. Basically, that's the process. The guys here are really passionate about it and really want to get it right. So those sort of things are, you know, labels and bottles and the style, and we want to have wax tops and all these different sort of ideas. And
so it sounds like you've got so much thought from start to finish, and you're not rushing anything. You're doing it in its time.
Yeah, absolutely. If there is a little bit of a, I guess, upside with the rums and whiskies, that 2 years gives you a fair bit of time to plan ahead and whatnot.
So the next step, heading over to your still?
The stills. All our stills are handmade copper pot stills, and they do a real good job of, I guess, cleaning the spirit. The guy who made the still, his name's Woodsy, and the way he's actually constructed the still, that sort of onion shape, it's almost like it's distilling, you know, 2 or 3 times before it gets over that arm. So all our products are really quite smooth and easy to drink, so definitely a credit to him. That copper effect of the copper pot stills is something we had when we first started the business. We wanted to really, as a bit of a point of difference, really focus on that.
There are a lot of stills here. The reason copper is so cherished is that it's relatively easy to mould. It conducts heat efficiently and it's resistant to corrosion.
So this is the rum still. This is a little bit, we'd essentially imagine a kettle, so you've got elements on either side.
And how many litres would you be able to do?
So this is 1,000. So this used to be an old milk vat that we had cut down. So but we only fill it about 600-700 litres at the max sort of thing when we do our stripping runs.
And then what about the next part of the process?
So this is the condenser. So you've got cold water running through this tap. Can you see the water dripping down? Essentially that's turning the vapour into liquid.
Copper allows for certain reactions that remove undesirable notes and flavours in the distillate, making everything smoother. What about your last still over here?
Yeah, this is the gin still. This is my favourite still. A similar sort of design and shape. However, this is what's got a thumper. This bad boy is where all the ingredients will be kept. So we'll have like essentially a gin basket with all your botanicals in there. And when we do our Cuprum spice, we'd have like a spice basket. But essentially so you'll have your juniper berries, your coriander in the pot. You'll have an agitator that stirs them around as you're distilling. And then we'll have what's called like a false arm. So it's sort of forced to pass through the bottom here and then work its way back up. And that's where we'll have our gin basket. We'll have a heap of different botanicals. Say like our signature dry gin, we'd have orange peel, cassia bark, cinnamon. I won't give you all the botanicals.
No.
There is a few secrets in there.
Let's give it a go. Time to get stuck into some spirits at the bar. Rory, you showed me how it gets made, and now we're at the fun end.
The good bit, yeah. So I think we briefly touched on, we've been going for about 2 years now. When we first started, we had 4 products, 2 gins and 2 vodkas, and then we've sort of slowly expanded the range since then. So I guess you want to start at the top. Our signature dry gin, we've used a fair bit of orange peel in the gin basket. So when you have your gin and tonic, especially on a hot, refreshing day, it's just, it's so nice and easy to drink.
It's making me thirsty. I'd love to start.
Yeah, well, if you want, I'll give you a tiny bit to try neat. You did mention you love your gin, so have a little bit of that neat, and then I'll give you some tonic with that.
I'd love to taste it neat. So you mentioned orange?
So I guess the 3 key botanicals are orange, cassia bark and cinnamon. It gives it that sort of warmth aftertaste.
Bit of spice.
Yeah, you sort of pick up that citrus vibe straight away. It's almost like a little...
it's smooth, but citrus up the top and then a little bit of spice towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as it develops, you can taste that too.
Yeah, so if you want, I'll give you a little try with
delicious.
it. This is the Fever Tree. It works really well and blends nicely with the gin, so have a bit of that.
Yeah, it's still got all those lovely flavours. It's just a little bit more rounded. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then normally a lot of gins have the lemon peel, whereas ours has got orange peel, and I think that just difference has won a lot of people over big time. And we woke up one Monday morning and we'd won a bronze in the World Gin Awards, and then, holy moly, like, you know, there's Scotland and Japan and then there's Bunbury, you know, and it's just like, man, this is sort of crazy, and we did really well ever since then. We've jagged a few other awards. We've got a gold in the London Spirits Awards, which is awesome. It does sound a bit corny, but like, we wanted to make a gin that Bunbury was proud of.
It's very tasty. I very much enjoyed that. Don't go anywhere. More gin after the break. Cuprum began in 2018, focusing on copper stills, quality spirits, and unique botanicals native to the region. I think it's time for a taste, so we're heading up to the loft. So this looks pretty amazing. Can you what's going on here?
So we've got 12 2.5 litre stills, and essentially you get to become a spirit master. You get to make your own gin. So we'll have basically a heap of botanicals on the wall, and you get to come in and make your own gin. We'll have like a malt and pestle where you crush up your ingredients and whatnot, and we've got a bit of a list here with the sort of suggested grams. A lot of people think putting a lot in is the way to go, but it's really not. Less is more. And then a bit of a wheel as well. So like, let's say if you like florally stuff, you might want jasmine or elderflower or rose or all those different stuff. Or if you're into your spicy stuff, so you might want ginger, cardamom, clove, all those different things.
Well, it looks amazing, and I love that you have the control and also someone that really knows what they're doing to tell you if you're going the wrong way.
Yeah, absolutely. Essentially, at the end of it, you'll leave with like a 500ml bottle. We'll go downstairs and water it, get the percentage right. Wait patiently, and then occasionally you'll have your sticker. Mad's Gin,
the only time in my life I'll ever be a spirit master.
Yeah, we'll even have like some wax stations where you'll have a couple of goals at trying to wax the top. And
love it. Because you've got, so much care, so much thought put into all of your products, so people can come here and kind of get a taste of what it's like to be creative and getting all those flavors in.
Yeah, and lucky the area we live in, you can get some really cool native botanicals. Like when you mix them up, you want it to smell harmonious. That's like sort of the main tip, having that touch of being able to control exactly what goes into the bottle. Yeah, a lot of times even the smells are pretty cool as well.
What a unique experience. It's a great first date idea. Not that I'm dropping hints. Over at the bar, Rory has a few more drinks lined up.
We've got our raspberry gin, if you're into your flavoured stuff. That's we've used sort of fresh raspberries throughout, and a lot of people will have it with lemonade to sort of sweeten it up and whatnot, which is pretty nice. Then we do a litmus gin. Remember back in school doing a litmus test with the pH changes? Essentially, when you add your tonic or lemonade, it sort of changes colour from like a dark blue to a pinky purpley colour. I'll get you to try a little bit neat.
Great.
So I'll chuck some of that in there. There's like an ingredient in there, the butterfly pea flower. That's what sort of gives us its colour. And a lot of the gins you have that contain that's all you can taste. So we wanted to steer as far away as possible from that actual butterfly pea flower taste. So we've had a heap of different recipes, and we actually got some jujubes. I don't know if you know what a jujube is, but had a heap of that in the gin basket, and we played around again. It's got a fair bit of cassie bark in there, so it's again quite warm and a bit more of a wintry drink. But look, have a tiny bit of that neat, and then I'll add some tonic or lemonade, and you'll sort of see the colour slowly change.
Lovely.
Bit of a drink where a lot of people that don't necessarily like gins will be like, they'll get around it.
That neat aftertaste, you can really taste that spice. You said cassia?
Yeah. So the cassia bark's my favourite botanical. Like you kind of see, it's not the most dramatic effect in the smaller glasses, but when you add your tonic, it will like sort of turn to that colour, and then
how beautiful.
Yeah, and it tastes unreal. So have a little try that.
That is really smooth and refreshing. I know your brain wants to be like, it's really sweet. It's like, but it's not. It's
sometimes you can have those pink gins and it's just almost like lolly water type thing. We wanted to make it taste like gin, so it's quite juniper forward. So
it looks like, it's a party, but it's actually quite a sophisticated
absolutely
drink underneath.
It's not all fun and games. Some of us have to work around here. I've been summoned to the wax station.
All right, Maddie, we're going to get you on the tools. So, this is, we wax all the bottles. I'm going to have a go first, and you're going to take over. So, the old double dip. So you start with one.
The only time you're allowed to double dip.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you'll be just slowly letting that go, getting a little bit of drizzle off, and then you're turning that upside down.
Now, you made that look really easy, and I feel like...
so have a go. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry about it.
So down that far.
Yep.
And then up again, and then down.
Yep.
And then I'm doing the twisty.
A little bit of a twist, so get a bit of that down. So that sort of stops.
All right. Whew. We've got one runner there.
Yeah, no, this will come a bit.
Slowly.
Not bad.
So that's a new career for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you do this all by hand?
Yeah. So, when we do a run, just get a head down and do, hundreds at a time sort of thing, so.
Well, it's a beautiful result.
Okay, I think my talents lie elsewhere. Maybe at the bar.
And then the vodkas, we've got our standard vodka, the rosé vodka, where we've teamed up with a winery down south when we were first sourcing barrels. I wanted to do like some sort of funky flavoured vodka, and they had a real nice rosé wine, and when I was playing around I blended it with that, and Yeah, again, feedback's been good on that. Is there anything else you wanted to try?
I would love the colour in this blueberry vodka is amazing, so I'd love to have a taste of that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of our sort of latest products. We teamed up with a guy who had a real nice blueberry farm out in Boynup, and we heard a lot of his blueberries were sort of going to waste. Not that they were out or anything, but they were too big. So I called him up and asked if we could sort of play around with them, expecting him to bring some, like, you know, a couple of punnets of blueberries, and he backed up his truck with 115 kilos worth of blueberries. So
wow.
Right, okay, I guess we got no choice but to have a bit of a crack, and you can see it's just so viscous. It's got that sort of like jam-like taste. Because he supplied us that many blueberries, we sort of had a massive, essentially tea bag and steeped it in the vodka, and left it there. We were really busy at the time, so we like left it there for a month or so and pulled it out, and it was black. We're just like, okay, so that sort of explains that real dark colour, and we've just been blown away by, the feedback of that as well. And
that's so lovely. The blueberry is really delicate in it, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't want to smack you in the face with them, even though that's probably what you expect when you think it's something so dark.
It would be just like a whole big mouth of jam or something, but because of the smell is so lovely and rich like that.
Absolutely. Well, if you like your ciders, blueberries and lime really work well together, so have a little bit of that.
Again, an easy win to impress your friends. That's really delicious with the lime. Really smooth if people are worried about, I don't know, vodka being too fiery or something. Yeah. Especially with the lime, it's absolutely easy to drink.
Yeah. Then the sort of rum-based spirits, so our Cuprum spiced. We talked about the rum waiting for 2 years. Essentially, this has been in the barrel for about 7 or 8 months, so can't technically call it rum. Looks like rum, tastes of rum. We're not allowed to call it rum, but we can call it Cuprum spice. So that goes really well with like a dark and stormy. So with ginger beer, a wedge of lime and bitters. That's unreal. And then lastly, the coffee liqueur. Again, a little bit different. Most coffee liqueurs are vodka-based. This is rum-based, so coffee lovers come here and really get behind it. There's sort of heaps of different ways you can have it. I mean, my missus has it with ice cream of all things. So I'm not that keen on the ice cream side of it, but I'll have that in a big glass with ice. And,
again, if people are worried about liqueurs being sickly sweet, this is not. This is delicious.
Well, I've had an incredible day at Cuprum. In the time since we've visited the distillery, they've released their first batch of pure single rum.
Well, Rory, everything I've tasted has been delicious.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Next up, it's back to Busselton to check out the Jetty train. See you soon. While there's plenty to do in Busselton, no visit would be complete without a trip to the jetty that extends into Geograph Bay. At just under 2 kilometres in length, it's the longest wooden piled jetty in the southern hemisphere. It's a lovely walk to the end, but I can't pass up the opportunity to take the train. Leaving every hour throughout the day, the Stocker Preston Express electric jetty train is the perfect way to experience the Busselton Jetty. Before I get on, I'm having a quick chat to Ray, who moved to Busselton for a sea change and has been driving the train for the past 6 years.
What's the most memorable thing you've seen driving the train?
Whales. We get lots of whales here. We're in the end of our whale season at the moment, but we often see whales coming in. They go under the jetty. Sometimes they come all the way down, not too much down the shallows, but they do come under the jetty around. They do a few backflips. We get a few dolphins in every now and again as well, and they're quite regular, but the whales, July to November, we have our whales. So,
spectacular.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome, you know.
Not bad for a day's work.
Oh, look. It is hard. It is hard. I know. I'm getting up there in age, you know, and I'm just thinking, oh, how can I leave this? You know, this is really nice. And even though I've been here a little while now, it still feels like I'm on holidays.
That's so nice.
Yeah. I wake up in the morning, I think, look at this.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right then, let's get going. Construction of the Busselton Jetty began in 1865, beginning at a mere 161 metres. Though the jetty is now used exclusively for tourism and recreation, it originally served as a port for exporting timber.
So this this train is powered by solar panels. It's totally electric and it's slightly faster than walking. So beats walking only by a little bit. So far, I've seen a couple of birds and lots of water. Beautiful wind-swept effect for free, no extra charge. And I've learnt about the pylons.
The jetty closed as a port in 1973 and fell into disrepair after Cyclone Alby in 1978 devastated the area. But thanks to community action, funds were raised for its restoration.
It was restored by the community, which was a pretty amazing thing to do. They got motivated to save this jetty and just make it as long as possible. And at the end, there's an underwater viewing platform, which is only one of 6 in the entire world.
The train has been running for just over 6 years now and has proved a very popular addition. It's quite odd hopping off a train in the middle of the ocean. I'm keen to explore the observatory, so I'm meeting our tour guide Victoria to find out more.
So Victoria, you're a tour guide here.
Yes.
How long have you been working here?
On and off a few years. So I started back in 2019 and have been sort of here and there.
Lovely. And how many tour groups do you think you take through on an average day?
We start at 9 a.m. and we finish, our last tour starts at 4. So every hour on the hour, and we can take up to 44 people at a time. So it can get pretty full on.
Lovely. I bet it's such a popular spot all year round.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gorgeous, and we just keep getting busier and busier as people want to know more about our marine life.
Yeah, and what do you love about coming to work here?
It's just so gorgeous being out here. It's hard to be stressed when this is your office and this is your view. We have 300 species of marine life under the water, so taking people downstairs into this observatory and seeing their faces light up when they see this marine life for the first time, potentially ever in their lives, that's just always magical. It's always so sweet to see people experiencing the ocean that way. And many of those people would never have the opportunity to snorkel or scuba dive otherwise. We get people visiting from landlocked countries and people with different levels of ability physically. So to be able to bring them down and show them here's the natural ocean, pretend you're a fish and explore, it's really lovely.
Okay, well, I'm keen to have a look what's going on under there, in there.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
We've got an absolutely gorgeous day out here today. It's about 10 meters of visibility.
Wow, is it normally this clear?
It's quite good for this time of year. As we get into the summer season, it will start to clear up a bit further, but we're all really excited here because it's been looking quite good recently.
Descending 8 meters to the ocean floor, the jetty's piles have created a reef, now home to tropical and subtropical corals, sponges, fish, and invertebrates.
So here we've reached 8 meters deep. We are at the bottom of the ocean here in Geograph Bay. Even though we're about 2 kilometers out to sea, it's very shallow, which means we get a lot of light coming through, and you can see the marine life here on the piles. We've got beautiful little white-barred boxfish. She's saying hello to you there with her little kissy lips. This is one of 6 observatories in the world. We don't do any sort of feeding or interaction with our wildlife, so everything here is wild and true and natural and free.
Nice.
Anything can swim past at any moment. We've had a numb ray come past before, and we've seen him a couple times. So that's like kind of like a stingray, but electric rather than having a barb. So they actually kind of like an electric eel.
Yep.
One of our tour guides outside the western window, he actually snapped a photo of a humpback whale once.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a pretty good day for us here.
No whales today, but with more than 300 individual marine species in their natural habitat, all viewable through 11 windows at various levels, there's always plenty to see.
It'd be just amazing for them to be like, finally the humans are in the fishbowl.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're not going into their space. We're actually part of the reef here, so the back of this wall is covered in marine life.
Each year during autumn and winter, a warm current down the Western Australian coastline allows for an incredibly diverse array of tropical and subtropical species into Geograph Bay. At a latitude of 33 degrees south, this is a remarkable phenomenon not found anywhere else in the Southern Hemisphere.
In the summertime, this is a really popular spot for snorkeling and scuba. As you can see, it's quite shallow, it's quite sheltered. It's a nice, safe, easy spot to see lots of marine species all in one space. You don't need to go too far to look for them.
And there's even more new developments coming to the jetty, including an underwater sculpture snorkel trail and a new discovery centre. It's been a fantastic day, from tasting delicious spirits at Cuprum Distillery to seeing a gorgeous array of wildlife at Busselton's underwater observatory. WA continues to impress. Join me next time on Last Drinks as we journey south to Margaret River. See you then!